So today we are in St Paul's, London, and we are going to be doing some fine art, black and white architectural photography, like the photos you can see on screen right now. Now, there are a couple of things to consider when you capture these kind of images. So one is the lighting. You don't want flat light, so you don't want the sunlight coming from where you're shooting or backlighting. We want the light to be coming from around a 45-degree angle from the left or the right hand side. The second thing to consider is we want an f-stop of around 8, 10, 11, depending on the lighting you're in. Basically, you want everything in focus. So once you've got those images, you can then take them into Lightroom and produce some absolutely stunning architectural black and white photography. And in my next video, I'll be going through exactly how I edit these images. But let me first show you how I capture the images before we jump into Lightroom. Here we are, we're just coming up to one of the areas of St Paul's that I like, one of the angles of St Paul's that I like. Beautiful sunny day. So we're just gonna see what kind of light is dropping in St Paul's. And as you can see from this side, it's more of a sort of backlighting. We've got the tip of St Paul's coming over that building there, and then the sun is on the other side. So really, we want to be on the other side of St Paul's. Just taking a little walk around and keeping an eye on the building and seeing how the light changes. So one of the towers over there, you can see one of the St Paul's towers over there, and you can see the lights coming from the left hand side, and you can see the light and the shadow is much different. So that's the kind of lighting that we want. So while we're here, we're just going to capture it, and then we'll pull it up in Lightroom and see what we can get. So I'm going aperture priority mode, I'm going f10, and I'm going to let the camera do its thing and select the shutter speed for me. And while we're here, I'm just going to capture St Paul's because it would be rude not to, and then I can pull it up in Lightroom and show you exactly what I mean, the difference in lighting. So that's the kind of image, I'll pull it up on screen now. That's the kind of image that we're not looking for because it's just too flat. And we definitely want a contrast in light and shadow. So we're just going to take a slow walk around St Paul's. This is one of the angles that I love. I mean, look at it. It's just amazing. On a wide angle lens, if you come here, I'll pull it up on the map as well so you know exactly where I am. But on a wide angle lens that you can see on the GoPro, that just looks magnificent. The buildings, the light, and the way St Paul's, this magnificent building, is just framed between this modern architecture. Right at the top, I'll try and zoom in, you can see right at the top there's a lot of people right at the top of the tower having a walk around. So we're just going to continue walking around to a different angle of St Paul's and see if we can get a better contrast of light on the architecture. So whenever you're doing photography, whatever your project is, whether you're doing portraits, landscape, architecture, fine art, whatever it might be, you want to get as close to your end image in camera as possible, and you want to get all your settings right. So if you're doing landscape and architecture, you want to f-stop of f10, f8, or even higher, because you want everything in focus. If you're doing portrait, you probably want a lower f-stop of a wide open of f2, f3, f2.8 to make the person stand out from the background. So you can see St Paul's through the trees now, and the light is changing dramatically. So I'm just going to go into the gardens of St Paul's here, and I'm going to capture one side of the building. So you can see here how the light is coming from over this direction, and it's so much different. So you can see how the light is completely changed. We got the sun coming from over here, and we've got a lot more light and shadow on the building, which is going to make a huge difference when it comes to Lightroom. So F10, drop down to F8, shutter is 250, ISO 100 of course, because we do not need a high ISO at all. I'm gonna drop my exposure compensation to -1 because I want to protect the highlights. And there you go. Okay, let's move on. Let's capture a few different angles. So just taking a turn back into the gardens of St Paul, as I can see another angle that will look quite nice through the trees here. So here we are. Aperture priority mode, F8. Shutter is 400, ISO 100, and I am just half a stop underexposed. I'm not sure if you can see, but there are lots of little people that look like lemmings walking around the top of the tower. I'll see how far this GoPro can zoom in so that you can see them as well on the video. Okay, let's crack on. So just heading around to another angle of St Paul's. So I think we've already got a couple of pictures that we can work with. I'll pull them up on screen now. The raw files, unedited, that we can work with, and you'll be able to see the contrast of light. Oh, here we go. Look at this. We can get a landscape in here. Okay. A little bit tight on the 50mm. But the contrast of light from this angle is really beautiful. So F8, shutter is 500. So I'll pull those up on screen that we just took right there. I mean, they look great just as they are, honestly, but they're going to work perfectly because the contrast, you can see the contrast of light, and it really does make the architecture of the building stand out, and it's really going to work well with the kind of pictures that we want to edit, with the kind of the end product that we want to produce. So as I said before, you always want to keep in mind what you're wanting to produce as an end result and take your photos with that in mind. So here's another angle. This could look really nice because it's square on, nice clean sky. F8, shutter is 500. So I've got the landscape, and I'm just going to get a portrait as well. So really, we want here. That's where it's square on. So I'm just going to grab that landscape again because we were slightly skewed. Okay, those look fantastic. So I'll pull those up on screen so that you can see what I'm aiming for. Contrast and light between the light and the shadow. Oh, here's another bit of tower that I've never seen before. And while we're here, we might as well grab it. I must have seen it, I just haven't noticed it. F8, shutter is 800. ISO 100. And we're half a stop under exposed. Sorry about talking like a robot, but while I'm concentrating on taking pictures, it's hard to commentate as well. Don't like that one, not gonna grab that. This is a very famous part, very Instagram, as you can see, Instagrammable side of St Paul's. So we've grabbed this one as well. But as you can see, F8 shutter 640, it looks a lot flatter from this side because we have the sun here and St Paul's there, so we got a flat light. When we started, we were on the other side of St Paul's and we had backlighting, and I'll pull that up on screen now. You can see that's nice and shadow and flat. And now we've got front lighting. Again, it's brighter, but it's very flat lighting as well. So where we were just a second ago, that was much better because we had the source of light, which is the sun today, coming from a 45-degree angle and creating lots of nice lights and shadows. So this is a little bit that not a lot of people know about. You see how busy it was just across the road? Now it's very empty, and this place is way more beautiful than the garden across the road. I mean, look at it. It's stunning, and London is just a stunning place to be in summertime. So many green spaces to come and relax in. So whilst we're here in this magical garden, I'm just going to take a quick picture, even though the lighting is flat from this angle. And as I haven't got a wide, I'm going to put my camera down to the side there, and I'm going to pull out the mobile phone. Get a picture of the cannon posing for us. But what you want to do here, you want to get nice and low down by the water, and then you can get a beautiful reflection of St Paul's. There we go. Get a landscape as well. Exposed for the highlights, exposed for the sky. And I'll pull those up on screen for you now. Okay, let's rock on. So we're just heading out of the magical secret garden that it seems that more and more people know about these days. Before, it used to be totally empty, but you can still see how busy the other garden is compared to this one. We're just gonna head across the road. Sun is behind the cloud at the moment. Oh no, it's out, but it's just not shining on St Pauls. So if we come around to the Millennium Bridge side of St Pauls, we're going to get... Oh, I actually do like the look of that building there, but the light is very flat on it, so I'm not going to bother. But here we go, this one here. Let's see if we can capture this. So, I do think that would work quite well. So we'll just capture that very quickly. And you know what, we'll just walk down here. I've never been down this road before, and yeah, you've probably heard me say it before, it's one of the things I love about London. So many little secret areas. You've got old buildings, new buildings, it's constantly changing. It's just a magnificent city to be in and take photos of. Let's have a quick look over there. Okay, we've got another tower here, so we're just gonna, and I really like the contrast on this tower, so we're just gonna take a picture of it. F8, shutter is 640, ISO 100, and we're half a stop under. Not much is changing because the conditions are more or less the same. So we're just coming around to the other side of St Paul's now. I'll just pull up a couple of the photos that we've captured, things that I think will work quite well for the type of images we're trying to produce. Yeah, I've never been around here. Another little garden here. Seems like a little church there. So many interesting places. So this last angle at St Paul's that we're going to capture, the sun is coming from over there and St Paul's is over there, so the sun is at a 45-degree angle, so we should get a nice contrast on the building between light and shadow. Very busy in London today. Wow, the Millennium Bridge is solid. And here we go, look at that. The London Fire Brigade are out very strong today. I wonder what's happening. But St Paul's is looking great. Let's get a picture of it. Just going to move over to the left, get away from that building. Just going to wait for the sun to come out from behind the cloud over there, and then we'll get this picture. So the sun is just popping out from behind the cloud. Right now St Paul's is quite flat looking. I'll zoom into it so you can see, and we're really going to see it come to life from this sort of flat image to a nice bright contrasty image between light and shade. There we go, you can see the light changing. Beautiful, it's coming to life, it's coming to life. You can see the light traveling up to the tower. It's coming up to the people now at the top. There it goes. It's just covered the dome. And now it's lit up the top. And it's just come to life, it's totally different. So we're just gonna grab that now. Again, f8, shutter is 800. ISO 100, the conditions are the same, so the settings are staying the same. Beautiful. Okay, so we got enough images of St Paul's for today. Remember, the two main things when you do this kind of photography, you want to keep the sun at around a 45-degree angle so you get nice contrasting light, and also you want to f-stop of around 8, 10, something along those lines, because you want everything nice and sharp. You want everything in focus. So click on this next video here where we jump over into Lightroom, and I'll show you how I edit these images to make them into fantastic, stunning black and white photos. Until the next time, get out there and take those photos.